This episode of Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
Hey, what about our Comic Capers podcast?
What about us?
Hey, fellows, have you heard about the new Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks Comic Capers podcast? Hello, and why, yes, I have. Welcome back to Comic Capers. I am Phil. I don't know why I'm speeding through this intro, but anyway.
Oh, terrible. It's gonna be one of those nights, kids. Buckle up.
Yeah, anytime I'm on the mic. Anyway, joining me, that disgusted voice I'm sure you're familiar with, is.
Hey y'all, it's Lil Hellfire putting over Phil's crap on a damn Monday night.
Oh, what? What else would you be doing with your life?
I know exactly.
Come on, spread some joy.
Have you met me?
Unintentionally. Look,
Okay.
pretend you have a soul.
It's so hard.
Not at Wade's World yet. So I don't know. Anyway, so yes, we're back with another Comic Capers, and of course it's October, so we're talking our next Flash episode. This time
But it's Wally.
Well, is there some Barry in it? Well, is there Barry in here? But yes, from Flash, 73 through 79, from February through August 1993. So we jump from the 80s to the 90s. We get some Jay Garrick in here, too.
Back in the 90s. I just wish you watched BoJack, then you would understand that reference. Charlie, make me watch
Have
it.
Charlie. Give me some more time today. I was just in there watching some Superior Spider-Man. Anyhow.
These issues are a little tricky.
It's the 90s.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it starts off with issue 73. It's a Christmas story, or One Perfect Gift. All of this, of course, written by Mr. Mark Waid.
Dashing through the snow.
Yeah, so Wally and Linda are spending
In a 1J open sleigh.
Wally and Linda spending Christmas with Jay and Joan Garrick. And of course, Wally has no patience.
That's Achilles' heel.
Mm-hmm. So Joan's like, Jay, get him out of here.
Yeah, they're doing those little small good deeds, and it's like, oh. And they rescue a pregnant woman from being run over by a car.
Yeah. After doing little things like shoveling sidewalks and helping at a soup kitchen, they save a pregnant woman, take her to a church, and she's like, oh, my husband's about to do something bad tonight.
Gonna rob his dad.
Yeah. So while Jay's bringing doctors and everything to the pregnant woman, so they don't have to move her, Wally goes in search of the husband at a department store on Christmas Eve. So you think it's
Boone's department
you
store.
think it's crowded?
How Iowa can you get?
I've never procrastinated that long.
I have.
Really?
Yeah.
I refuse to shop on Christmas Eve just because I hate crowds. So,
But now, like with online shopping, I don't. Like I get everything shopping done here. How you ship it straight to them? You're just like, okay, on this day, ship it. It's great.
I know. Well, it's like next day.
So yeah. Well, so Jay stays to take care of Maria as they wait for like somebody to help her pop her damn baby out. Damn crotch goblin.
What dare you?
Not all goblins are bad. It's fine. Wally struggles to find the department store, even though he's lived in this area most of his life. Whatever.
Well, I don't think he doesn't struggle, does he? Because I mean,
I think he just didn't want to do it. He's just like,
But then he has trouble finding the guy in the department store. He's like, I've checked everywhere. I've checked everyone. He's like, wait a minute. I haven't checked.
And he's like, yeah. That's the guy dressed as Santa. How dare he?
So he goes looking for Santa, but Santa's already cracking open the safe.
Yeah. And then there's this little boy who wants, he's like, Santa Claus.
My daddy's
I've been a good boy and everything.
And he says, I don't want a toy. I want my dad. He's in jail, basically.
Bro, do you know how this is crazy? Like, this is what's one of the many problems wrong with America. It's just like, they had to introduce a character on Sesame Street because so many people have, like, so many kids have a parent in prison.
Really?
Now. Yeah. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. That just made me think of it. Sorry.
That's all right. People, clean up your act if you have kids. You should clean up your act no matter what, but if you have kids, come on.
So yeah, it's just like, oh, convenient plot point is convenient.
No, it's the it's the, hey, do you want to be this kid? You want your kid growing up with their father in prison? So
yeah.
But then the guys come for their money, and he's like, no, I'm gonna take the money back. So
they're like,
and they open fire as he's pushing the kid out of the way. But
of course, Wally arrives just in the nick of time, disarms the gangsters, and hems them up as Wally does.
Catches some bullets in midair and knocks them out. Yep.
Old Matrix before the Matrix was the Matrix.
And then he tells him, your wife Maria's, in labor. Go to the church.
At a church.
Follow the North Star over the church.
This Barry being reborn? I'm confused.
Nah, that was the issue before.
I know. So then Wally and Jay are back at home, and Wally opens his gift from Linda, and the bell rings.
Well, he was saying, as he gets older, it's not like when you're a kid and you got the, all you wanted was a baseball glove, which, Linda gives him a baseball glove, which I'm hoping that's not all she gave him, but yeah, like you said, the doorbell.
Something else fit like a glove. Hey, talk about your home run.
But anyway, so yes, there's a doorbell rings, and they're like,
supposedly it's Barry Allen.
Well, I love how Joan's like, oh, you think it's but yeah. But yeah, no, they open the door and it's Barry Allen.
Seriously, how gimmicky of a last page can you get?
Well, I know. I think in one of these letter columns, Wade's like, yeah, he's like, the minute I took over the book, everyone's like, well, when's Barry Allen coming back?
Well, you can't blame anybody.
It might be in the last issue. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, just maybe.
Yeah. So issue 74, the one with a ton of flashes on it.
Trust.
Oh, and I believe the story's been collected in trade at least once or twice.
Probably like 5 times.
Mm. Yeah, it's a popular story. So yeah, second issue picks up with Wally thinking about the crisis, which, basically it was just some universal battle where Barry gave his life to save the universe.
Oh, but if you do want to get the best trade with this one in it, I think I'd say it's probably Flash Return of Barry Allen. That particular trade is pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, poor Mark Waid.
Why?
Could you just imagine the pressure?
Oh yeah.
Come on, bro. It's been forever. Come on.
I know. So Barry's thinking about how Barry died, and then he's like, then a week ago he turned up alive.
Yeah.
And we
I gave my life to save the universe, and all I got was this lousy costume back.
And we see the Great Temple Club meeting Hal Jordan and Jay Garrick talking to Barry.
Yeah.
Basically, what happened?
And then also Pied Piper. They're talking about that.
Oh yeah. But yeah, they're asking Barry how he's alive, and he says, somehow my energy reformed itself during Wally's battle with Dr. Alchemy in issue 72. But he basically had no memory. He wandered, as a homeless guy till he saw the Flash Museum, and some of it came back to him, and he ran in, grabbed the costume, and sped to Jay's house.
And he's just like he still doesn't know that Wally's taking over the identity of Flash, so it's just like, this is gonna be awkward.
Well, I know Hal's asking him. He's like, "So your amnesia's gone?" He's like, "No, partially." He's like, some of it's hazy from like right before I disappeared. There was a trowel, and then something, and then that final mission from Crisis on Infinite Earths. Could that? So we get the footnote for the the final issues of Barry's Flash series, which we covered last episode.
Yeah. But then also when Wally shows up in costume, it doesn't really seem to bother him. And they like go on this little side mission to find Handsome Jack.
Oh God, yeah.
Giacomo.
But you know what? You skipped over the big problem I have with this. Well, this whole storyline, which I get what Wade was trying to do, but it's like Hal scans him with the ring. He's like, oh yeah, he's telling the truth. It's Barry.
Well, it is Hal.
I know. We'll get to that in the last issue. But yeah, the Piper shows up to give Wally the tip about Handsome Jack, the mob boss, about to get whacked. So not the Lilith Hellfire, right? Anyway, Wally runs in, puts on his suit, and he's like, "Oh, that's right. In the week Barry's been back. I haven't told him I've been wearing. I'm the Flash now." Dummy.
Yeah, it's all kinds of awkward. Well, honestly, that was actually kind of smart because is it really Barry? It's kind of mysterious kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess.
So it was like the smartest thing Wally's done in a while.
Yeah, but at this point, I don't think Wally's identity was public. So it's like, what would be the problem with telling the rest of the world knows who Wally West is, the Flash? Just very
true.
So yeah, so Barry's just like, oh, nice suit, but then it's New Year's Eve, so Jay's wife won't let him out to play. So
yeah, so they go to that amusement park, and I was just like, what is it with villains in amusement parks?
Mobsters, man, you can buy anything.
Not gonna lie, I totally would if I had.
And then big plot point, Barry's like, Wally's like, what? You don't remember I can't phase through solid objects? Or when I did. What?
Jeff Johns would like to have a word with you.
Well, I mean, eventually gets it, but I think right now, if he does phase through stuff, he blows it up.
Yeah.
So
like, I guess the mobsters, like, he spread the word because he wanted the Flash to protect him, and I'm just like, well, you got big issues when you're trying to get the Flash to
yeah. So I guess Handsome Jack buys out this amusement park every year for New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
So yeah, Barry and Wally are taking out all the assassins, I guess, sent to whack Handsome Jack.
You're so funny.
I love that you're 12. I love you're a 12-year-old boy. I love it.
On the inside, I really am. Anyway.
It's so nice to have someone on my level.
Yes, I'm sorry that Luke has outgrown you.
Exactly.
Anyway, so yeah, those goons show up and they hand him over to the police.
Yeah.
And Barry disappears. And Wally falls into the cemetery to the grave of Iris.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, Wally's basically like, I was waiting to see if you mentioned her. I thought it was kind of funny you had, and then, Barry's like, I didn't want to admit, I saw the Ferris wheel we rode back in the day, and it made me think how unfair life is that I came back and she didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, something tells me we will be together again someday. That she's out there.
Yeah, but Barry's just looking forward to his second chance.
Mm-hmm. So they go for.
And he's gonna actually be supposedly gonna be a good mentor to Wally.
Yep.
Like, that's what they were trying to set up.
So until it all starts going downhill in Flash 75. Yeah. With the
running behind.
Yep. With the what is it? The Combine.
Yeah, but at least it's all my boys.
Yep.
They managed to make it into this one.
Yep. This high tech supervillain group's been
robbing a train. Like, what is this? The Wild West? I was half expecting
Will Smith.
Oh God! Don't ever mention that movie to me.
Army Hammer.
I actually love that movie. I'll start singing the theme song. That's all. I was like, I don't know, 11 or something when that movie came out. I like pop westerns. I do.
I know.
Steampunk even better.
I could have said Army Hammer. I know, your arch nemesis.
He really is.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, it's Wally and Jay trying to break, keep this high tech group from hijacking the train, but then they take out the track, so the train just
train's headed for Keystone City, baby.
Derails. No, it's headed right for a school, of course.
Of course.
And so, and that's when we see another streak fly past, and Wally said,
"Garlic Street."
Wally's like, "I used to be the fastest man alive," but he's like, "Now it belongs to the man so swift he actually outraced death." Mm-hmm.
It's just like laying on a little thicker.
Well, I mean, Wally worshipped Barry, and now he seemed to do the impossible.
Yeah. So I like how when he's like, later after all that, he's talking to Linda. He's like, "Oh, Barry gets all the attention," and she's like, "Oh, you're jealous." He's like, "You should just find a new name for your superhero idea."
She's like, I know. She's like, she's like Lilith to me. She's like, "You're such a petty bitch."
It's like, well, Speedy's already taken, and he's Green Arrow sidekick. That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, because after the three Flashes all have to do the whirlwind with their arms to stop the train.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Which I love that they do in the actual show a couple of times.
Oh yeah.
See, Arrow and Flash are night and day. Arrow's afraid to lean into the comic books. Flash is like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Oh yeah.
And it's more popular.
So yeah, so
maybe we'll learn our lessons with Batwoman. Maybe we'll lean into the comics, which we did actually in the pilot.
I like the pilot. I just that they mess with the origin a little bit. So
it's a little bit, and plus Hush is not going to be has nothing to do with her, so it's like Supergirl all over again.
I know.
Anyway.
So anyway, yeah, back at home, Wally and Linda, like you said, are talking about if Wally could come up with a new superhero name, and then they start getting frisky on the floor.
That's my girl. But then Wally gets a call from Jay.
Yep, I got a hot tip.
Yeah, they found the hiding place of the Combine. And so, before running into the warehouse, Wally searches for Barry Allen, finds him in the alley.
Where he rematerialized.
I know, and it's just like, I don't think that's how that works.
Or he's like, I just had this nagging notion that something here could provide a clue, and then they pan to like a book that all you can see in the title is Allen. Clue much?
Exactly. So he's like, yeah. So then they go to Jay Garrett. They meet with him, and then they go to Combine's hideout. And they're all discussing, oh, well, it's a trap, obviously.
Yeah, with the cops, yeah. And Barry's like, I should vibrate through the wall, do a quick recon. And Wally's like, no, just because you're the fastest doesn't mean you always have to take point. And they're all talking about it until the Combine comes out in a big tank.
I know. And then Jay is like quickly incapacitated. Rude! And then Wally gets trapped in a mountain of rubble.
Yeah, because they're trying to protect the cops and take out the Combine at the same time. Yeah, they drop like a wall on Wally, and then one of the guys in the tank.
They're like celebrating, thinking they killed the Flash, and then Barry gets like super mad.
He's like, the guy's screaming, "We killed the Flash!" And he's like, "You did what?" Yeah, Barry tears into them like he's about to kill them, and Wally's like, "Oh man, he must think I'm dead." Oh, And
then he hears something that sounds like, "I'm the Flash."
Well, he's like, because he's like, I couldn't hear it first, but then what I heard, he's like, what I really hear is, and he's all shocked, but they don't tell you what it is until the last panel of the issue, because he's moping at home, and then He heard Barry scream, and I quote, "I'm the Flash. Do you understand me, punk? I'm the Flash." Not we are. I am the Flash.
Ooh, oh, it's too soon. You be taking shots at Iris.
So
Felicity says it, nobody bats a damn eyelash. Iris says it, which is a more loving, open relationship than Velocity. Fight me, nerds. And, it's fine. It's fine. Make fun of Iris.
I don't have a problem with it that a lot of people have, but it's like, yeah, it's easier to say with Oliver. Oliver doesn't have superpowers. It's like, okay, Iris, you're running at Mach 3 with Barry. Okay.
Well, for one episode at least.
That's true, yeah.
And Jarrell wasn't even around to help.
Oh.
Hashtag Smallville reference. You guys should be catching up on Smallville if you've never seen it. It could be important to the crossover. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, some people are appearing. So
dude, 3 freaking Clarks, really?
At least 3, yeah. So yeah, issue 76. You are about to experience the most tragic day in the life of Wally West.
My sweet, sweet ginger summer child.
So again, we get flashbacks about how Wally became Kid Flash.
Identity crisis. Talk about it.
No.
Talk about it. That's what's wrong with legacy characters, honestly. Like they have that whole mantle to hold on their shoulders and stuff.
Yeah, you got to worry about aging and everything. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically we get the flashback of Wally becoming Kid Flash, and then, Barry dies and he becomes Flash, and then get the whole story about how Barry came back again.
Yeah, and he's worried. He's like, am I redundant because you're here now? And I'm like, well, kind of.
Mm-hmm. He's like, maybe I didn't hear what I heard last issue.
But it's just, it kind of like made me chuckle because it makes me think of Batman Beyond. It's like, well, that's my name now.
Yeah.
Old man. But anyway, yeah, Terry handles that a lot better.
Yeah.
Because Terry is awesome. But anyway.
Jay goes to see Johnny Quick.
It's like, damn, the whole Flash fam's up in this bitch.
Well, he's like, he's very mysterious as he's like, well, oh no, he says it to the next, but he says, it's, we need, something's going wrong. We need to do something. And he's like, and Johnny says, who we need this, who we need to get, right? Max. Well, he says, no, this isn't for the youngsters.
But he's like, he doesn't want to involve his daughter, but obviously.
Well, no, he says, do you want me to pull Jesse in on this? And Jay says, leave your daughter out of it. We don't have time to teach the youngsters all our tricks.
Yeah. I was like, aw.
But they're going for Max. They're going to a man named Max.
Max Mercury?
Yes.
What's going on here? I mean, you're really stretching it when we get to Max. That's all I'm saying. Out of all the
he had to
Flash fans.
Had to introduce him somehow.
Yeah.
So then we see Barry and Wally streaking towards Combine headquarters, and Wally checking out the girls on the beach.
I just wanted him to be like the Ferris Bueller moment. Hey, my name's Flash. Nice to meet you.
Girls playing volleyball on the beach. So, so after they zip out of the beer commercial.
Well, I mean, they do live in Keystone.
Oh, nice.
It's a type of cheap, crappy beer, in case you're not familiar.
Charlie Ussers drank it. All right. So after the apple.
Oh, Pied Piper tipped him off too, by the way.
Yes.
Did we skip it? I love the little scale model of the Twin Cities, though.
Oh yeah, because they find it. What is it? They 25th or 26th floor. Yeah, of this skyscraper. They find a miniature.
Like, who just leaves this around? But then, like, that was pretty cool because then he traps him in a pretty sweet force field that shrinks.
Well, yeah, I guess that's the leader of the Combine who, I don't know if he's dressed like an alien warlord or if he raided Prince's, the family sold off all his outfits.
flamboyant. It's fine. It's okay. That's how you know he's a supervillain.
Exactly. He's all Victor Von Doom.
They can't be all Lex and shark suits, you know?
I know. So yeah, it's just the hologram that lures the two Flashes into a shrinking dome.
Under the dome.
So then we see in the subway,
Jay and Johnny go to see Max.
The mysterious
Is that
Max.
a change booth?
Uh-huh.
Ugh.
And he's like, you got the wrong guy. It's not me. It's not me. Until Jane knocks over the tokens, and guess who picks him up at super speed?
Damn it. It's just like Barry with the cup.
I was going to say, it's pretty much what Max. And he's like, I gave that up a long time ago, and Jay's like, you owe me 1949, the Screaming Skull, remember?
Ooh.
And Max says, you swore you'd never call that one in unless it was a matter of life and death. And Jay's like, so what do you think that means?
Duh.
So Jay's put it together that maybe Barry's dangerous now. Why would he let Wally go off with him?
Because he's the redheaded stepchild, literally.
Literally. So the Flash. So Barry and Wally are trying to vibrate through this shrinking dome, and neither one.
Wally needs a jump start from Barry.
Yeah.
Homoerotic incestuous subtext there. Let me tell you.
Yeah, it's a little Hellfire fanfic. Yeah, so they're like, well, maybe if we both vibrate, that different frequencies, and we don't mess with the field. And Wally's like, well, I can't vibrate, remember? But he's like, maybe if you get me started, I can hold a pattern enough for you to jump through, which Barry does. And Wally
seems hesitant though.
What?
He kind of seemed like hesitant to help.
Yeah. And then Wally's
like, oh snap, does he really want to get rid of me?
Well, Wally.
So it's like that whole thing.
Yeah, well, Wally gets his hand through. So he's standing there with the hand outside of the field. He's like, come on. He's like, help me before I got to turn my name to the MASH.
Yeah.
So he's like, come on, Barry, help me. And
Barry ain't gonna help. He goes on this tirade.
Hey, basically gives him the old cliche. This town ain't big enough for the both of us. He's like,
and Barry escaped. But
Yeah, he's like, you made the world forget about Barry Allen.
Yeah. So while he tries to concentrate, and he does actually force himself through by carefully vibrating through it.
Yes, painfully. He vibrates through after Barry leaves him to die. Yep.
When he gets home, Barry's totally Iron Man, though, and he's got a press conference, and he's like, "Oh, the other Flash is dead. I'm the only Flash now."
Yep. He says the Flash is dead.
Also, shout out to this cover because it's an homage to Flash 184.
Yeah,
I love that.
See, Wally, you could have prepared yourself if you hadn't left the TV on when you left the house.
What you do though? I mean, well, I don't because
No.
I know plenty of people who do. It drives me insane.
I know. So then we get to Flash 77, titled Suicide Run, but on the cover it says The Final Blow.
So much to unpack here. I'm just gonna let it be.
Let it be. So in the opening page, we see a news report of a battle between Barry Allen and Green Lantern Hal Jordan. See Green Lantern number 40. Which I almost added to the list, but I was like, we got enough here.
Yeah.
I was like, Lilith Hellfire has to put up with enough Hal Jordan in this story. I don't want to throw an actual Hal issue in here.
I mean, I've read a lot of the Hal stuff. Why do you think I hate him so much?
Just every breath you take. Anyway, did you read Flash 40? Green Lantern 40?
Yeah.
Ever? Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's Hal trying to catch Barry, and meanwhile keep a Dark Star from trying to kill Barry.
Exactly.
So that catches you up on Green Lantern 40. So again, Wally's flashbacking in the first couple pages. Barry left me to die.
In case you weren't rich enough to pick up the previous issues, here's what you missed.
Well, you could have missed an issue. I think I was reading this as it was coming out, and I think I was still picking up Newsstand when this was coming out.
Oh.
So, if your newsstand ran out. So, yeah, basically just the report on TV saying how, old Flash is running amok.
Yeah.
And Wally's like, there's been times I lost my powers, but this time I have my powers. Just, I don't want to use them.
Yeah.
Then we see Barry trying to bring down a building under construction.
With the workers inside, he's shaking the girders, and I'm just like, oh, this would be a perfect time for Girder to actually show up there.
Yeah.
Patron saint of girders, I guess.
Until we get stopped. Until we get stopped by the two-page splash of Jay, Max, and Johnny.
Old school trio about to get the belt out. Yes.
That's right.
Young whippersnappers just need a spanking. I swear, it would solve a lot of issues.
So Barry's basically like, I don't recognize the guy in white, but hey, I know you're Johnny Quick, the slowpoke, because he elbows him in the head. Then he calls him lead ass.
Like, what's going on?
It's not Barry. It can't be Barry. He doesn't swear.
Exactly.
So they build a wall real quick. He's like, don't you idiots know I can vibrate through this? But meanwhile, Jay and Max are on the other side ready to deck him.
But, this Barry's not afraid to use innocent bystanders.
Yeah, but then he picks up some gravel and, basically shoots it at super speed at Johnny, taking him out. But then it's like, Max is like, Jay, take care of Johnny. He's like, it's about time Barry Allen met Max Mercury.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun. And worst of all, Max Mercury. Wait a minute, this is a Marvel. But the double alliteration stage.
Yeah.
I don't care.
But anyway, meanwhile, Wally is wandering around town in his Don Johnson suit. And his subconscious brought him back to the alley where Barry materialized. Yeah, and look, there's a homeless guy looking at the book.
How convenient. He didn't rip it up for fire.
Illiterate bum, if you will. So we get the big Max and Barry fight.
Like, I just never understood what the point of Max Mercury was. I was not impressed. That's all I'm saying.
He knew the secrets of the Speed Force before anyone.
Retcon, get your retcon.
Well, this is Wade. This is Wade setting up the stepping stones. He's the one who came up with the Speed Force.
I know. And I'll say it is better than the rainbow spectrum.
Yeah.
There, I said it.
Fight me, nerds. Speed Force better than the Green Lantern rings. Fight me, nerds.
Everybody's like, no, we're not going to argue with you about that. Of course you're right.
Yeah. So Max looks like he's about to beat Barry until Barry throws innocent bystanders in the way.
Although, you know what? I take it back. I do enjoy him when he is mentoring Impulse. Because those exchanges were hilarious.
So then Jay hits Barry with a girder, and he's like, come on, stop it.
And then Barry's trying to be like all big about, I'm going to give you one more chance to just leave me alone.
And he kicks him off the building.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, back in the alley, Wally still doesn't see the bums reading the book until he hears the bums mumbling memoir, Iris.
Yeah.
So he gives the bum $20 for the book. They show him reading the book with the Flash insignia on the front of it, and he's like, "Oh my god!" He's like, what he's reading can't make sense. It can't possibly exist. But it's what's on the inside cover. 2 words. I believe a name. That solves the mystery. Don't say it. So yeah,
I love spoiling stuff.
I know, but meanwhile, not till we get to issue 79, but
oh, that wasn't 69. Then it would have been perfect.
So then, meanwhile, Barry, quote unquote, is beating the crap out of Jay. Then he's trying to finish tearing down the building, and Jay's trying to get all the workers out at in time.
Yeah.
Which the issue ends with Wally coming up just in time to catch Jay's helmet.
Explosion.
Is Jay dead? Oh no!
You know what I said. You better up and not.
I know.
I was just like, first of all, you coming to my house bringing in a new dude to the speed fam that's boring as hell, and then you're gonna freaking torture me thinking Jay's dead? No.
Yeah, I know.
Not cool, homie.
Did we bring in a Jay replacement just to kill Jay?
Seriously, so many thoughts, bro. When I was reading this.
All right, we won't cover it, but Flash Annual 6, I think, fits in right here, the Bloodlines Annual.
Yeah.
Which basically it's just like, I mean, Wade wrote that too, but it's based, I think that, everyone had to do Bloodlines that year. So it was like, oh yeah, in the middle of trying to find Barry, we're going to go on this other adventure.
I mean, that's nothing,
Well, the only good thing is like, you really don't see Linda much, well, until issue 79, but that kind of explains what she's doing during this time.
What's Craig?
What?
What's Craig? The name of this?
I know.
Oh, no.
To save the city, they would have to defeat their most deadly foe, Barry Allen. Yeah, so it opens up with Johnny trying to teach Wally his speed formula. Which, keep that in mind, in around, what is it, issue 92, I think?
Yeah. It's like, I don't think that's how it works for Wally. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. So again, more flashbacks, and then we see Max show up, and he's like, talking about, yeah, Max is saying, yeah, Johnny's formula is kind of cute, and Wally's like,
get that boy some hard water.
Wally's like, what? It doesn't work? He's like, nah, it works for Johnny, but just helps him visualize what's already there.
Yeah.
And then we see Jay. Jay's back. Yay!
Phew.
Max saved him.
And Mark Wade got to live another day.
Oh. That was a cliffhanger.
I know, but I mean, Mark Wade has the balls to do something crazy like that.
I know.
Especially back then when he could do no wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the 90s.
And then, Max is talking to Wally about getting faster, and he's like, "You think about your speed too much. Just let it flow."
Well, also, like I said, he's a legacy character. He has that burden of Barry's legacy, and that's always been Wally's like issue.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that, especially next issue.
It's like it's so obvious, even Max can see it, and he barely knows it.
Yeah, he's like, you're afraid of replacing Barry because the minute you come as fast as him, that's what you've done.
He calls Wally Flash instead of Junior too. Like, oh, I see what you did there.
And Wally calls Max Yoda.
Stop making references. Well, just in retrospect, now that Marvel owns, I will always be forever bitter about that. Y'all don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about being petty.
So after all the pep talk from the old guys, Wally picks up the book and explains to them, although we don't see the explanation yet, what it's all about. And he says the name that's written on the front cover. And he's like, it's like Jay's all shocked, and so are the other two once he explains who the name is. Mm-hmm. And Jay's like, but how? I have no idea. He's like, but I bet I can trick him into telling us.
Because he's a narcissistic a-hole that loves to talk about himself. Not too hard.
So, yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, I know. So, yeah, so they all run off to do whatever, and then we see the state penitentiary. And Barry Allen has freed the prisoners.
As you do.
And armed them.
Oh, that's essential.
Mm-hmm. But then Jay shows up and just says, shut up, and clocks him. He's like, this is just between you and me. Get up. And then we see Wally in the ruins of the Flash Museum, which got trashed in Green Lantern 40.
Which made me sad.
Mm-hmm. And Wally's
no damn respect.
And Wally's talking about putting a plan in motion. We see the cosmic treadmill. Then we see him pick up a costume ring. What's he doing with that? And then he says, one last surprise. Clothes make the man, as he runs to the rogues gallery. A rogue, you say?
The roguiest rogue to ever rogue, yes.
Talk about petty. But anyway.
Yeah.
So we see Max and Johnny like taking care of the prisoners while Jay dukes it out with quote unquote Barry. And I can't believe Jay fell for this because he got Barry down and Barry goes, "It's me, your friend."
He's old and senile. That's what they were trying to say.
Gets him to blink for a second, so as Barry just like whips on him until Jay rips the insignia off his chest. "You don't deserve to wear this."
He's not wrong.
And then Barry knocks him out, and then breaks? Is it both legs or one leg? I forget. We'll see next issue, but he breaks at least one of his legs. And he says, "I'll bring the city down around its ears, but it won't be as Barry Allen. It'll be as the one true Flash." As he races to the Flash Museum, I guess, to get a new costume.
Bro, I'm just saying on this cover, like, it totally kind of looks like JWS. I'm just saying.
What, on 78? Yeah. So then Wally shows up, says, "Looking for this?" And he throws him a ring. Says, "Go ahead, suit up." Then we see Barry. We don't see the costume, but we see something come out of that ring. And he says, "Look familiar?" And we see Barry say, "Yes." "All right." And he says, "I figured it would." He says, "Congratulations, you had the whole world going." He's like, "Somehow you even fooled yourself with the whole amnesia thing." And he's like, "You had to have been confused. If otherwise you wouldn't have left this, this book laying in the alley." He's like, "That's right. It's a full biography of Barry Allen the Flash, his entire life, an intimate detail from birth to death. It couldn't have been published in our time. Barry's identity isn't public knowledge, at least not in the 20th century. No, this book came from the future. It came with you, Marty. You're not." The Sports Almanac. "You're not Barry Allen. Your name is Eobard Thawne. Or as you're known in this century, Professor Zoom, the Reverse Flash."
No wonder he had to cut the title. It's a bit long.
Yes. And Professor Zoom sounds way dorky.
Super dork.
Professor
Straight dork. Like he belongs on Futurama.
Even Charlie Esser won't put that after his name.
I don't know, maybe.
Professor Zoom, Charlie Esser.
Superior Professor Zoom.
Superior Professor Zoom. All right, so we get to the oversized Flash 79.
Yeah.
Man, look at them antlers on their heads.
Straight up.
So yeah,
I was like, "Wolverine, is that you?"
Bub. So then we get again Wally inner monologuing to catch everyone up.
Thank you, Wally, because I was not paying attention.
Careful what you wish for. Basically summarizing every issue we've covered here tonight.
The Once and Future Flash is the name of this issue, by the way.
Yep.
I kind of like that title.
Oh, yeah. So Wally and Eobard are just duking it out, and Wally's like, "You're dead." Eobard, "No, you're dead."
To me, you've been dead for centuries.
That's right. And Wally's like, "No, years ago, Uncle Barry killed you, snapped your neck in order to save an innocent woman's life." Fiona Webb, see last episode.
And we never saw her again.
That's right. And Eobard's like, "I didn't come back from the dead, and I didn't come for you." He's like, "You're ahead of your time, kid, or rather, you're ahead of mine. I've never met Barry Allen, at least not yet."
I was waiting for it.
Suspense. Got to build the suspense. It's not that the button was stuck or anything. So
we get this whole stupid shtick about the 25th century. It's cold and it's zero.
It's so boring.
And superheroes. There's no superheroes because
Mm-hmm.
technology keeps crime in check, and I'm just like, Legends of Tomorrow? Sorry, is that you?
So we basically get an origin for Eobard Thawne, and basically it's like fanboys are still around in the 25th century.
Fanboys never die, homie.
That's right. So basically, his favorite hero of the 20th century was the Flash, and he memorized basically the biography. And
bro, this fanboying is to the extreme though. He got plastic surgery.
Yes, he got plastic surgery, looked like Barry Allen, and he bought the cosmic treadmill in an antique store.
He stole it.
I was like, who the hell puts a time machine in an antique store? But I guess you need super speed to use it. So
yeah. They stole it from the Flash Museum, and he stole it from them.
So
he tried to recreate the stupid chemical bath.
Oh yeah, he says, yeah, the treatment cost me a fortune, and the pain shaved years off my life. So he grabbed his book, and he in an identical Flash costume, because that wouldn't freak Barry out. He went back to time travel to see Barry, but as old as the cosmic treadmill. The cosmic treadmill at that point was 500 years old. It was kind of off, so I dropped him in 1993. So he wandered in it, he wandered in his amnesia until he got to the Flash Museum.
Damn Flash Museum.
Well, and then he's looking at all the rogues and stuff, and then in the 25th century, the identity of Professor Zoom, the Reverse Flash, wasn't common knowledge, but in the 20th century, it was. As he sees a recreation,
my head hurts.
As he sees a recreation of himself getting killed by Barry Allen. See last episode.
Giving it that snap.
Yeah. So it's like, it's impossible. It's like, I wanted to be his friend, and he killed me. And he's like, wait a minute. I came to the realization that I couldn't die if I ran. And basically his mind convinced himself he was Barry Allen.
Yeah.
But Wally's like, God help us, you were Barry Allen. You could have been Barry Allen right now, but
it's just something about you. The evil just creeps right out.
The evil and your ego just had to, creep out, even if you couldn't remember who you were. And
so why did the Green Lantern work? Because if you, to quote George Costanza, if you believe the lie, then is it really a lie?
Exactly. I'm like, that was my problem. Why couldn't Hal?
It's not the same DNA though, so it's just like,
what?
It's not the same DNA, so I'm just like,
I know, that's what I'm saying. Why didn't he scan him full DNA scan instead? I guess he just did it as like a simple lie detector.
Yeah.
Convenient plot point.
But no, I feel like Hal really missed his friend, and he wanted it to be true. So,
maybe.
You know what I mean? It's easier to convince people when they want that lie to be true.
Well, I was trying to think too. How easy would it have been for them to get Barry Allen's DNA though too?
True. Yeah.
I mean,
his parents were still technically alive at this point, right?
What?
His parents were still technically alive.
Yeah, yeah, true. Because I think there's one point in this issue where when Eobard still thinks he's Barry, he's like, yeah, I don't know I'm still trying to figure out how to run up to my parents and say, hey, I'm not dead. Even though they never knew where he went to in the first place.
And it's all his fault. He could have told everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
Shark's still bitter.
So Eobard's like, here's the new plan. I'm going to stay in 1993 where Barry Allen's already dead and can't kill me. And he's like, and to make sure that happens, I'm going to destroy the cosmic treadmill. And Wally's like, whoa, wait. Time paradox. If you destroy the treadmill now, it's not going to be around in the 25th century for you to come back. And Eobard's fine. I'll just kick your butt. And that's when Hal Jordan shows up with Johnny and Max. This was the quaint time when because Hal throws him in a cage, an energy cage, and this is the quaint time when the ring didn't work against Yellow, so Eobard just like runs his hands through the bars and says, "Oh, I don't think so," and basically just like knocks, decks Hal because he's like, your ring ain't gonna work against me. And then he's like, he's going through Max and Johnny. But then Hal tries to pin him to the wall with some debris, and Eobard's like, "You idiot! You forget I can vibrate through solid matter."
Everybody always does. It seems
I guess.
We're always bringing it up.
He's like, I'm gonna come back and kill you all, just like I did to Jake, Eric. Wally's like, what happened to Jay? Oh yeah, he only broke one leg, but he broke it in 6 places.
6 places, yeah.
And his wife's like, he's never gonna run again, and Jay's like, nah, I'll heal.
He'll heal. Come on, be serious. Just eat some tacos with some guacamole, and it'll be all right.
That's how Lilith heals.
Well, and tequila.
He's like, I'm a speedster.
I eat like a speedster. Too bad I don't have the metabolism of a speedster.
Oh, look at this ad. This was around Nightfall.
Oh, yikes. And she never wanted to hear that word again.
Oh, we're not going to cover that? Okay.
No, well, we will.
Yeah.
But, I was thinking for before the bat, maybe we could do a little Batman Incorporated.
Okay.
I know it's 252, but it's like the only good thing of Batman New 52.
Okay.
Have you ever read those?
Oh, yeah, I have.
Okay. If not, you're in for a treat.
Oh, we'll cover lots of Batman. Stay tuned, people. So anyway, Wally's telling everyone about the book, and he's like, this is how Eobard found everything through the autobiography of the Flash, and it'll be written just a couple years from now, in that far off year of 1997, I think it says later.
Yikes.
And
it's just like how 2020 is literally a few months away, and it's like everybody predicted 2020 was gonna be. We're still so fucking far off. Where is my real hoverboard and my flying car? That is all that I want.
Oh Lord, look what happens to you in cars on the ground. You don't need no flying car.
I skydive perfectly fine. I have no quarrels with planes.
I know, but is it a plane or is it a car?
Let's just be real. It's a plane.
It's
just small.
All right. So anyway, Johnny's looking through the book. He's like, "Hey, who wrote this?" And he's like, "Wait, but that's impossible." And Wally's like, "Yeah, I know. I know. It seems impossible, but he's like, the only good news to come out of this whole thing." He's like, "And the only thing that's going to keep me from killing Zoom."
Guess who wrote it?
Well, we'll get to that at the end, but Wally's like, I gotta stop, it's personal. I gotta stop Reverse Flash. And the rest of them are like, you're not fast enough. You can't do it.
Run, Wally, run.
I know. And Wally's like, and the timeline's not crumbling around us. So Eobard has to go back at some point. Johnny's like, yeah, but that doesn't mean he can't go back with your blood on his hands. And then, hey, look who's on TV right now. It's Linda.
We didn't forget about you, Linda.
But guess who shows up? Reverse Flash. After he solidifies his hand through her guest's chest. And then he's like, okay, people, just so you know, the Flash doesn't get credit for this. I am the true Reverse Flash. And then he gives he got the vibrating hand right above Linda's head. Because remember what happened to Iris?
You get a vibrating hand and you get a vibrating hand.
Hey, that drop finally actually comes in handy.
I know. What it was meant for. So Wally sees that and takes off for the studio. Saves Linda, but then Eobard knocking him around. And then he's like, you want some more? You know where to find me. And then we see Linda picking Wally up, and she's like, wait for the ambulance and wait for help. He's like, no. He's like, remember when you said I might not be able to stop him? He's like, put it out of your head. So then we get just the art of Wally chasing after Eobard. He's thinking how Max was right, that he was afraid of replacing Barry, but he's found his speed because I'm more afraid of letting this bastard do it. That's what it says in there.
Such terse language, Mr. Wade.
Wally was angry.
So angry. You don't want to get a redhead angry.
So he gets the drop on Eobard, and they start fighting in the Flash Museum. But Eobard's not.
Poor Flash Museum.
Eobard's not looking so confident. they're duking it out until Wally trips. Eobard's.
Guess the luck of the Irish wasn't with him on that one.
I know, and it looks like Eobard's about to give him 2 vibrating hands.
You get a vibrating hand, and you get a vibrating hand.
And Wally's like, if I just had 1 second, I could get up and beat him, but all I need is a momentary distraction until a lightning bolt from out of nowhere comes out of the sky and distracts.
It was Barry. No, I'm kidding.
I think that's what it was supposed to be, but yeah.
Hashtag it'll all make sense later if you didn't get that joke.
All right. So that gives Wally all the distraction he needs to beat Eobard's butt, and Eobard once again is like, no, don't do it. It's me. It's Barry Allen. And Wally gives him the JFK. He's like, is that so? Mister, I knew Barry Allen. And believe me, you're no Barry Allen. In another 2-page spread.
Because reasons. But honestly, for splash pages, you need no reasons. I'm okay with that.
All right. And I'm going to fan this in my head that Wally really screws Barry here by the end of the story. Pay attention. So now Eobard's all afraid of Wally. Wally's even just like backhanding him and stuff, and Eobard's just like, kill me. He's like, know what a tempting offer that is. But so Wally appears to monkey with the treadmill, and then he says, you know what? Maybe I'll go back, or maybe I'll go ahead and kill you as a baby. And he disappears, and Eobard's like, no, and he gets on the treadmill to get after him, and he disappears. Then we see Wally in the corner go, sucker. Because that's when Hal and the others show up, and Wally says, yeah, I was able to top off the treadmill too quick for even him to see, but I set it for the 25th century, so right about now, Eobard's getting back to the future. To
the future.
Yeah, exactly. And after he
had a bogus journey for sure.
But anyway, so yeah, after he scared Eobard by saying he was going to mess with his childhood. And meanwhile, supposedly this time trip, it wiped Eobard's memory again, so he doesn't remember meeting Wally before Barry. But what if it in his subconscious that gave him the idea, hey, I could go back and mess with Barry Allen. I could kill his mom.
I think exactly when Jeff Johns saw this, he's like, yeah, file that away for later.
So good job, Wally. Not Barry's mother killed.
He secretly hated him anyway. It's fine.
So then we see at the end of the issue, we see Wally strolling through the park up to the Flash Museum with Linda, thinking how everything's good again, especially when you see the title page of the book, The Life Story of the Flash by Iris Allen, copyright 1997.
Not to be confused with Iris West Allen.
We are the Flash. So then he's like, Max said there's stuff in there about my future, but I don't want to see it. So he just throws it in the river, which again, bad move because someone.
You burn it, you dummy.
Exactly. Even Michael J. Fox needed to do that.
And Marty was an idiot.
So yeah, I think by issue 90, was it 94? So yeah, the river doesn't destroy the book. Someone else picks it up. Mark Waid's favorite Flash villain.
But honestly, it should have been ruined. But I guess in the future they have like books that don't.
Exactly. It's from the 25th century. Who said that's paper? Maybe it's plastic.
Yeah, because they killed all the trees.
Exactly. Yeah. And it survived the trip through time. You think the river's going to destroy it?
Well, I don't know. If it was in Gotham, it definitely would have got destroyed. Unless it was made out of freaking...
That's sludge.
Yeah, it's like vibranium or something. That's the only way that damn thing is surviving.
All right.
Yeah, you got to go to another comic universe to get something indestructible to survive that sludge.
All right, so that was the return of quote unquote Barry Allen. It's a little.
You got me good. No, not really. Not even a little bit.
I almost bought it until 75 when he starts screaming at Wally. I was like,
yeah,
it can't be Barry Allen.
Yeah, and when the fact that he said he didn't go to see his parents, I was like, definitely.
Exactly.
You're like the first thing we're getting Return to Barry Allen. He's going to see his parents first. I'm sorry.
Or Fiona Webb.
No. We'd start at Iris's grave. Let's just be real.
Yeah, it was very convenient. Well, it was very convenient that he forgot that Iris is still alive in the future.
Yeah.
But what did you give this? I give this an A.
Yeah, it's definitely an A. It's very entertaining. I like that we got all the Flash family, including Max Mercury. Like I said, I don't really like the stuff until we get to Impulse. Then it's just like you actually do get to see more dimensions to the character.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed this story. I love the art.
Yeah, the art is great. And it's Wally, and he's dealing with his issue, and they're making that whole homage to 184, basically this whole arc.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I don't know. They really kind of were trying to flesh Wally out, and I appreciate it. And I love Eobard. I do. He's my fave.
He's no Kavanaugh, but
I love the Matt Lesher freaking reveal. Like everybody knew, they just didn't know exactly how the writers had done it, and I thought that was just like amazing.
Oh yeah,
everything. Yeah, seasons 1 and 2 of The Flash, homie. I miss it.
It's still good.
Okay.
How dare you?
Justice for Wally.
He could come back. He's the one who left.
Justice for Pied Piper. Justice for Gypsy.
Oh, maybe this season. Who knows? Hey, Crisis. Anyone can as we found out, anyone can show up.
Meanwhile, Linda Carter's like, I don't know.
Gypsy.
Michael Keaton. Did anybody reach out to Michael Keaton? Because that would be dope.
He's making MCU money now. He don't need to.
He almost did the pilot of Lost until they didn't want. He only wanted to do the pilot because they were going to kill off the character of Jack and make So I was just like, he wants to do TV, just like one-offs though. He doesn't have time for anything else.
All right, so should we get out of here?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so next Comic Capers, Wade's World will be next week, people, and then the next Comic Capers will be wrapping up our last Flash. It'll be Flash Rebirth from 2009.
That was 10 years ago?
Yeah, the real return of Barry Allen.
Holy crap, it doesn't feel like 10 years ago. It feels like they've just started screwing me over.
No, it's been a decade. Why? That was
time flies when you're spending money.
That was before New 52, at least.
I know.
2 years before the dreaded event.
The event that shall not be named.
That's right. All right, so send us your thoughts on Flash Rebirth, or we're gonna be covering some Green Arrow coming up in November. So Longbow Hunters, email us capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Call our voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And you can find all of the Capes and Lunatics links at Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. And remember, you can watch everything live on the Capes and Lunatics Facebook, Twitter, and right here at getvocal.com/Capes. Lilith?
You nerds want to live tweet with me? Find me at Full of Hellfire over on Twitter, and you can find me on the gram just for my sidekick peeps and my Capes and Lunatics peeps at Lilith Hellfire 69. Duh.
I should have played another one just because you think I'm so predictable.
But I just show up and look pretty and spout big words, and then I'm done.
It's been a while.
Superfluous?
What?
Big words, superfluous.
See? She's a walking encyclopedia, people.
Not quite soft and not quite hard.
More like Wikipedia, but it's okay.
I just need to get my unpopular opinion out of my mouth.
Yeah, the opinion too. Anyway, again, join us next week for Wade's World, and then the week after, Flash Rebirth. What is that, 6 issues? Yes. 2009, the true return of Barry Allen.
And just for the hell of it, pick up Flash Annual 6.
What?
Just pick up Flash Annual 6.
Flash Annual 6?
Yeah. I'm joking.
What, the one I just said I mentioned tonight?
Yeah.
You want to cover that?
No, I'm telling everybody to pick it up.
Oh yeah. Like I said, it takes place like in between issues, so but part of the bloodlines when they're trying to introduce all these new heroes.
Sounds kind of familiar. Something Marvel's doing right now. And actually with 5th generation, DC's doing that too now.
Listen to the bitterness on that voice.
It's room for more heroes. There's always room for more heroes.
All right, join us next time. Zip on back.